A few months ago, my strap cutter died on me. But you know guys, it was the cheapest I could find at the time starting out, so this really was an opportunity for me to go for a serious upgrade. That being said, upgrading this tool can be quite expensive. These strap cutters do tend to be on the higher end, and I really did put off this purchase for quite some time, preferring to order straps the right size for the different projects I needed. That all changed the day my father-in-law found this strap cutter from CS Osborne just lying at the bottom of a toolbox with a lot of wood planes gathering dust, and it had been there for just about 30 years. Lucky for me, he didn't need this tool, so he was very happy just to hand it over to me, and that was it. That was my new strap cutter. As you can see guys, it really does need a lot of tender love and care. But guess what? That's exactly what it's going to get. The tool itself is pretty simple and yet very efficient. A metal measuring bar holds the blade at one end while sliding into a handle with 2 adjustment screws, one to hold the blade and one to adjust the bar at the correct length for cutting your strap. At some point in its lifetime, someone coated the metal parts of the tool in a rust-preventing varnish, and though this is the first thing I need to address, it's probably also the reason the tool is still in working condition despite having been forgotten for nearly 3 decades. I'll start with the smaller parts. Using a wire brush and a Dremel, I carefully clean the screws of any rust and debris, and use the same method on the adjustment pin. One of the most used tools throughout this project is going to be 120 grit emery cloth, which is similar to sandpaper in its function but can be torn up into neat strips and is much more durable than sandpaper, though also more expensive. Rolling this emery cloth around a steel ruler gives me a good work tool to get inside the prongs of the adjustment pin. But as you can see, this had little to no effect, so I switched to using a small rasp, a more aggressive approach that's yielded better results. At first the screw heads were tackled by using the aforementioned emery paper, but I quickly graduated to a 120 grit sandpaper wheel on the Dremel. As you can see, light controlled passes worked wonders in taking off the layers of varnish and rust. A quick side note, I don't actually know what all of these parts are called, so if you do, please drop me a comment down below. In the meantime, I'm going to continue calling these adjustment pins, measuring bar, handle, and of course the adjustment screws. Moving on, this adjustment pin got treated to a good sanding to flatten out the back. To clean out the inside of the adjustment screws, I used a hard stone bit on the Dremel in lieu of any proper sanding method small enough to fit inside the hole. I had debated on finding a drill bit just slightly wider than the hole and drilling out the years of patina, but decided this would do. Back to hand sanding to start evening out the surface. The Dremel is back, helping me take care of the harder to reach areas on the back of the measuring bar before using the emery cloth again to bring it back to bare metal. A note about the tool's maker. CS Osborne is the name of the man who started the company in 1858 in Newark, New Jersey. In 1906, the business was moved to Harrison, New Jersey, and all the new tools produced got the updated Harrison, New Jersey stamp. Except for the round knives which, because it's a part of their logo, kept the old stamp. Yeah, why not? This means that the strap cutter we have here precedes 1906, though by how much we will never know, making this tool at least 116 years old. Using the rasp, I clean up the back side of the measuring bar further. Clamping down the measuring bar in some thick vegetable tanned leather gives me a very sturdy grasp on the tool, making sure the vice's teeth won't dent it, while I take care of the blade port. Blade port? Yeah, sure, why not? This area had the worst rust of the whole project, and I had to remove a lot more material than I'm comfortable with. But as this will not affect the tool's usability, I simply have to make sure that everything stays as straight as possible in the end. Cue more sanding on the emery cloth. More sanding. And still more sanding. Oh wait, there's more. Unfortunately, there were still some areas where the rust had pitted the steel quite badly, and I really wanted to get rid of as much as possible. Not perfect, but not bad. Finally, we get to look at the handle. I've already given the inner face of the handle a quick sand to see how fast I could clean this up. I'm glad to report this should be easier than the other parts, and go ahead and finish it up on the emery cloth. I give the top side a quick sand just to check for level, and just as I thought, it's not level as indicated by these 3 scratched areas, meaning that I'll have to sand the rest by hand. No worries, brass is a soft material and this should not only go fast but also should be very satisfying, as we'll be able to see the result of our work really soon. The only other flat surface is on the front of the handle, so this gets addressed also. The 120 grit emery cloth makes quick work of the surface grime, and we're back to the original brass and wood. It's time to move up grits to 400 grit sandpaper, which will get rid of the bigger scratches, leaving, as you can see, only minor scratches on the surface of the tool. I'm hoping to bring the brass back to a near mirror shine to start its new life, so out comes the Dremel once more and, using a green polishing compound, I get the surface near to finish. And the last final step is using a polishing cream to buff the surface one more time. A brand new blade was purchased from CS Osborne, but it actually came really dull out of the box, so it needed a proper sharpen on a whetstone, a strop, and then we're good to go. Let's put everything back together now and see what it can do. I love the look of this old tool. That brass and the wood really complement each other amazingly well, and it's also so comfortable to use. To test out the strap cutter, I've got a belt blank from Leatherwork. This is some gorgeous vegetable tanned leather from Belgium that comes in around 3mm thickness and is incredibly tough. I want to bring the strap down from 4cm wide to 3cm wide. As you can see, this belt blank is not giving up without a fight. That being said, the strap cutter isn't having any issue getting the job done, and slowly but surely, the strap is cut at the correct thickness. Do you like the result? Because I know I do. If you've watched this video so far, I know you're going to love this one where I restore a 60-year-old pouch from the Swiss military and turn it into a gorgeous little clutch bag for my girlfriend. And don't forget guys, likes are free and really help me out.